The big sting that many of us will encounter is the bee, but this is no ordinary bee. It's the dreaded Africanized honeybee, or killer bee.
Their aim is to kill the target, to eliminate it completely as a threat. It's not a driving away process, it's a not chasing you off process, that they want to kill you.
These guys are super aggressive.
To disrupt a hive in such a fashion that European bees would send 2 or 3 out to sting. A similar hive of Africanized bees might send 2,000 or 3,000 out to sting. That's a massive behavioral difference.
In the past 20 years, these bees have crept up from South America into the southern U.S. Since then, the guys at AAA Africanized bee removal specialists have been kept busy. Today, they've arrived at an abandoned house. The owners were planning on renovating until they saw the number of dead bees inside. Lincoln Perino is a bee buster, and the evidence of a hive is unmistakable. The numbers indicate that it could have been here for some time. The smoke lets them have a look around without being attacked.
The smoke plays on their instincts. In the wild, when they would sense the smoke, the bees would gorge themselves. They collect as much honey as they can and prepare for a long flight, thinking that their home is going to be demolished. And so it kind of negates any other instinct they have to attack.
Just because smoke confuses them, don't think these bees are stupid. They respond better than any well-drilled force to a threat, and bees are well armed. They keep their barbed stingers behind them, wrapped in a protective sheath. Dr. Leslie Boyer works at the Arizona Poison Control Center.
The stinger initially goes relatively shallow into the skin, and the bee flies away, ripping loose and leaving behind a venom apparatus consisting of a couple of venom glands, ducts that connect them to the stinger, and an amazing little ratchet mechanism that slowly, over a couple of minutes' time, burrows deeper and deeper into the skin, pumping venom as it goes. So, in fact, over the course of the first couple of minutes, the amount of venom being injected continues to increase. If you have a single sting, you have time to grab it and pull it out before all of the venom has gone in.
If you are stung by a huge number of bees, getting to all the stingers is impossible, and Africanized bees sting in masses, as the boys at AAA know only too well.
I've had 4 or 5 on my neck all at once.
I've had my eyes stung shut.
I'd say the most I've ever taken is up to about 15.
My face swollen up like a tomato.
We have some guys that take 30, 40.
I've been in the emergency room 3 times in the 6.5 years.
Meanwhile, inside, the bees finally react. Lincoln has no alternative but to spray them.
Now you can start seeing all the bees that are pouring out. They're probably going back and then some into the wall. Yeah, this is really packed with comb. There's the first sting that got through. Yeah, I would say that with the amount of comb that we pulled out already, and the number of bees and how aggressive they are right now, this colony is far from being dead currently. There's probably a lot to protect down in here, and a lot of open spaces. 2 stings so far, 2 stings.
So what should you do if you're attacked by killer bees? Tip Teasdale knows.
If you get too close to an Africanized bee colony, you'll experience bumping. The bees will actually bounce off your face, and that's a warning. That's the only warning you'll get. If the bees that are bumping you decide that you are a threat and you don't get out of the area quickly, they'll sting you, set off the attack pheromone. The second part of the process is the guard bees at the entrance to the colony will react to that. And this all occurs usually within 20 yards of where the colony entrance is. The guard bee's job is to incapacitate you, to get you to panic, so you're throwing out more carbon dioxide in the air, and then the colony will start dumping. And the longer you're there, the more bees are going to hit you.
The bees don't just target people, and not everything can run away.
Dogs especially, which tend to be confined in a yard, are at great risk. We also see problems with horses, including some very valuable animals. have been stung by bees when they're in relatively enclosed settings. And horses can be killed by bees relatively quickly.
People have been much luckier, and the bees have not lived up to their expectation.
We had a lot of fear that things would be worse than they are. And as a physician in the business of toxicology, I'll tell you, I'm actually very pleased that we have not seen the huge surge that we expected in severe injury from Africanized bee sting.
In areas with little human traffic, these bees can exist without any of us knowing about them.
We'll never be able to eradicate the Africanized honeybee in Arizona unless scientists can find a genetic solution. Our job is to control them and to keep them away from people as much as we can.
And another Africanized hive is rendered safe for now. There are a huge number of species of bees around the world, so they are the most often encountered of our big sting contenders.